So let's start with number 1, our unique URL. Before we get too far into this, I just want to state that if you're watching this video, chances are you've already selected your unique URL. I've already explained to you, or somebody's already explained to you a little bit about how it works. But I'm going to go into this in a little more detail so we can get a really good grasp on how this will work for you and how you can use your unique URL to leverage sales on various different platforms. So what is a URL? A URL is a website's address that is participating on the World Wide Web, which is also referred to as www. Essentially, your unique URL will be our identifier for your personal online store, and it is the place that you want your consumers to land on so that they can register in your online store or make a purchase. Well, let me kind of show you how that will work. So as we already mentioned, this is coastalbeauty.ca. It is a place where you can view products you cannot purchase. There is no shopping cart attached to this. However, let's pretend for a second that we know somebody's unique URL and we want to put an order through, say, the Sharp Cut. Now, what has happened is you can now see that the logo is displayed on their Coastal Beauty site. We also have their Facebook page displayed. If you had a website, we could also get that up there. But the most important difference, and the one that enabled us to have the shopping cart up here, which you can now see, is the fact that we've actually left coastalbeauty.ca. I know it's a little hard to see in that screen, but right now we're on coastalbeauty.ca. In order to be in the branded page that has a shopping cart, what we've done is we left our URL and we landed on the Sharp Cut's unique URL, which is thesharpcut.coastalbeauty.ca. As you can see, now that we're on their unique URL, we can shop on their website, register, and treat it as an all-around source of professional beauty products. I really want to hit home that your unique URL is your gold standard of access to your own personal website. Although we've developed other methods that we'll be going over shortly, such as the Salon Locator and your access card, ultimately, the goal of the Salon Locator and access card are to just maneuver a client from point A, which is coastalbeauty.ca, to point B, which is your unique URL. In an ideal world, every consumer would be landing in your unique URL with no guidance from access cards or salon locators. However, we do not live in an ideal world, and we know that consumers are going to find your site from a variety of different channels. So what we've done is we've created a couple different methods to enable your client can still transfer from point A, coastalbeauty.ca, to point B, which is your personal unique URL. So let's go over how the Salon Locator works. So with our Salon Locator, what you might find is a lot of the clients that end up landing on your personal branded unique URL that arrived there from the Salon Locator weren't actually clients that you recruited in the first place. What we do as a company is we have an active Facebook page, an active Instagram page. We're always running paid advertisements on social media, and we have a lot of organic traffic hitting our website from search engines such as Google or Bing or, Ask Jeeves if you want to take it back to the early 2000s. Now, with that activity that we generate and we move them on to coastalbeauty.ca, as we've already gone over, there's no way for them to check out without supporting a salon or spa. So what we did is we developed what we called the Salon Locator. I know you kind of already saw a little glimpse of that earlier, but let me show you how that would work from a customer's point of view. Alright, so we're on Google here. My name is John Smith. I reside in Calgary, Alberta, and I desperately want a product. I desperately want Pulp Ride's Barcelona shampoo. So if I go ahead and search that in here, I've already got this set up for us. So we're going to click enter. What's going to happen is Google's going to give me a series of different results. We rank number 1 for this product. So at the very top of this page, you're going to see a Coastal Beauty link that is inconveniently hiding behind my face right now. So say I find the product I want, I click it open, I move on to coastalbeauty.ca, and I want to add that product to my cart. As we saw earlier, it's not going to let me do that because I have yet to choose a salon or spa to support. However, this time around, I'm going to go ahead and click that little bubble, which is going to lead us to our Salon Locator. So after clicking on the bubble, what happened is we landed on our Salon Locator page. Yes, this is an extra step that the typical consumer would not see on a normal online store. But remember, this is how we ensure that 100% of all sales that happen on coastalbeauty.ca are linked to a beauty professional. We try to design this to be as simple as possible. We use a step 1, step 2, step 3 system, and we outline all of the instructions right underneath the title Salon Locator. So we do make it evident, and we try to make it as easy as possible. Essentially, how it would work is the consumer would have to do step 1, select a city. Step 2, find a local salon or spa near them. And step 3, click on the Shop Now button. We also put a little blurb below that explains in a little more detail why the user has actually landed on this page, how 100% of sales are tied to a local salon or spa. And if, for example, you are somebody who's from Calgary or somebody out of the Maritimes, we do also state that maybe select a city of somewhere that you'd like to visit one day. After that, you do have a couple different options of determining who you want to support. You could filter by city, you can filter by salon name, or you can filter by postal code. Ultimately, we do find filtering by city is the most effective and generally works the best. If you actually look here, we leverage Google Maps, and we actually provide a topical map of the Maritimes and display an icon over every participating salon or spa. If you hover over it, a little bit of extra information appears as well. Now let's go ahead and use our example that we were using earlier and go find the Sharp Cut. I know they're located out in Westville, so I'm going to go underneath Filter by City, scroll down until I hit Westville, and select it. Now what has happened is our map has changed. It'll actually zoom in and show you the exact street that beauty professional is running their business on. It'll show you the extra information as well, such as the name of the business, their address, postal code, city, etc. The reason we can do this is we actually leverage your latitude and longitude so that we can pinpoint your exact address. Another cool feature with the Salon Locator is, say if you have an end consumer who actually wants to get maybe some color done to their hair, a service, or simply pick up a Redken All Soft shampoo right from a client's brick and mortar location. This can still be done via connecting with the actual client. So they can call your number, which is listed here, and they can say, hey, do you currently stock Redken All Soft? If the answer is yes, they can pop on down and grab it, and that's another way that Coastal Beauty can facilitate a sale. If the answer is no, or maybe it doesn't even matter because this is an online store and the client is on this page because they want to shop online, you can just tell them to click the Shop Now button there, and what's going to happen is they're going to reload directly onto your branded storefront. In our previous example, we wanted the Pulp Ride Barcelona shampoo. We hit our Salon Locator, we selected Westville, we selected the Sharp Cut, and now we are on the exact same product we started on. However, as you can see, our unique URL has changed. We are no longer on coastalbeauty.ca. We've switched websites, switched URLs. We are now currently on the sharpcut.coastalbeauty.ca, which is evident due to the logo displayed, their Facebook displayed, and the shopping cart feature now available above. Let's go ahead and try to add that to our cart. And voila, it's going to function like a normal online store, and that client can proceed to the checkout page to make their purchase. So the third and final way that your clients can gain access to your personal branded Coastal Beauty storefront is via what we call the access card. On your access card, which you will be sent when you get set up, there'll be a unique access code. This access code works in conjunction with your unique URL. In our previous example, we said the unique URL was like opening a door which took your client from point A, which is coastalbeauty.ca, to point B, which is, in our previous example, thesharpcut.coastalbeauty.ca, but in other words, your own personal unique URL. If the unique URL is like the door, think of the access code as your key. This is another tool that can enable your client to make that transfer from point A to point B. In order to actually use your access code, you have to actually go into the login tab right up here at the top of right hand side of your page. On mobile, it'll be displayed in a little bit of a different area. I believe it's on the top left hand side. So in order to use the access code, your end consumer is actually going to have to create an account on your online store, which is a good thing. You really do want to get the user saved to you. We're going to go over that in a little more detail in the next clip here. And again, there's a few different ways of registering, and again, we'll go over it in a little more detail, but just follow with me for a second here. So underneath where it says don't have an account, you're going to see two separate options. One is going to read create an account with an access code. The other is going to read create an account without an access code. We're going to go ahead and click on the one that says create an account with an access code. That'll make a lot of sense to your client who's sitting at home with an access code in their hands waiting to create an account. After clicking on this page, we're going to load it into the create your account page. This is a very straightforward account creation process. If a step is optional, it'll read optional. If it is required, it'll read required in blue. If a client lands on this page and they do not have an access code, there is a little blurb here that explains other methods for them to create an account, such as Salon Locator, which we just went over. Now, let's make a test account so you can see what your user would end up going through. The very top field here is required, and it says access code. Let's go ahead and type in our access code. Remember, it was F45R95. In this example, however, I will be using the Sharpcuts access code. There's a field here that says beauty professional. If you have more than one worker working at your place of business, your brick and mortar, this is a great way of tracking who is signing up new users to your online store. And again, when you get the report that states purchases, the beauty professional will be listed as well, so you can see who is selling. In this scenario, I'm going to make the beauty professional as test. The first name is required. In this case, it's going to be test. The last name, you guessed it, test. Email is always required as well. In this case, I will be using a fake email of test123@hotmail.com. And the password, as well with confirming password. And phone number. One important thing, especially if you're getting a user to sign up to your online store right when they're in your chair, when you're already providing a service on them, try to ensure that they keep this OK to email block checked. There will be a ton of different opportunities to get your client into our email list if they do not check that block. For example, if you scroll down a bit, we have an email funnel right here as well. However, email is one of the best ways to push out new promotions, new product information, and to really engage your consumer when you can't see them on a daily basis. It puts a little bit of power into our hand so we can help drive business for you. Let's go ahead and click Create Account. And voila, once again, we have left coastalbeauty.ca, which is point A. We used our key, which was the access code, to access our door, which is a unique URL, and transfer that client directly to point B, which is the shortcut to coastalbeauty.ca. The best part about this is, if your client registers in this manner, it doesn't matter if you no longer service them. They could live over in British Columbia 6 years from now. When they come to coastalbeauty.ca and they put in their login information, they're instantly going to get transported back to your branded storefront, your unique URL, and in this case, the sharpcut.coastalbeauty.ca. So when you're trying to get your clients signed up to your Coastal Beauty page, there's a few different ways that you can go and get your clients registered. What we just went over a second ago was how to register your client using the access card. Now, the method that we're going to go over right now is once again assuming that the client has not been recruited by one of our beauty professionals and they're currently on the coastalbeauty.ca, or in other words, an unbranded storefront. Once again, we're going to go up to the top right-hand side of the page there where it says Login. After selecting Login, the page will reload to our login page, which is also doubles as the account creation page.
And if you remember in the previous example, we clicked on this one right here, which says create an account with an access code. Let's pretend for a second that we do not have an access code. This consumer that is now on the site has never even heard of Coastal Beauty. They found us during an organic search on Google. For that client, they're going to go ahead and click this one right here that says create an account without an access code. After clicking on that link, what's going to happen is we're going to reload back into our Salon Locator, but this time it's going to behave a little differently. Once again, we're going to go ahead and select a city. Let's go back down and use our example with the sharp cut out of Westville. So this time, when we click Shop Now on the Salon Locator, what's going to happen is we're not going to just go back to the Sharpcuts page, but as you can see here, we're going to reload directly on to their account creation page. Now the one difference that you might notice is it no longer has the required field of access code. Why is that? Because we've already chosen who we want to support, we're already on the Sharpcuts page, and therefore the consumer does not need the access code. The consumer will be able to fill in their beauty professional's name if they have it, their basic contact information, and click create an account right at the bottom, and once again that user will be saved to you. Pretty easy, eh? So now we're going to go over the two different ways your clients can actually make an account or create an account when they're already on your branded storefront. So when you have a client in for a service, if you have somebody in your chair, this is an excellent time to go ahead and try to get them signed up to your online store so that they can access your products when they're at home later in the day, down the road or whenever they would like to. So the two different ways that we can do this, one we kind of just went over, but I'm going to show you how to access that once again when you're already on the branded storefront. So as you can see, we're at the Sharpcuts page here. We're on the sharpcut.coastalbeauty.ca. So let's go ahead and click login in the top right hand corner once more. And again, we're on the account creation or the login page here. Now the one difference you're going to see when you access a login page from a branded storefront is there's actually only one option underneath don't have an account, and it says create an account. So the consumer's going to know how that works, and they're going to go ahead and click create an account. Once again, we're going to land on the account creation page. It's a little bit simpler this time. There's less verbiage explaining how it works because it's a very straightforward process. Fill in the beauty professional's name, enter the basic contact information, and once again hit create account, and that user will be saved to you and be able to access your products and your catalogs anytime down the road. So the third and final way your clients can actually register an account on your personal branded storefront is actually directly on the checkout page. We haven't actually gone over how the checkout page works yet, so we're going to take this opportunity to go over the features of the checkout page and of course how your client can create an account right on that page. In order to access this page, we will need to add a product into our cart. So we're going to go ahead and add this Pureology leader into our cart. As you can see, after you add a product, it's going to open up the mini cart. The mini cart allows your user to kind of get a snapshot of what's in their cart without actually accessing the checkout page. For the sake of the example, of course, we're going to click checkout. After clicking checkout, the checkout page is going to reload. Everything is in numerical order. It's all very intuitive. Essentially, if you complete steps 1 through 4, your order will be ready to be completed. We've also designed it so that every time you complete a step, it'll gray it out so the user knows that that step has been completed. Let's go ahead and make another test account to show you how this works. We'll make an account called testpleasework@hotmail.com and just go ahead and make up a password there as well. So after clicking login, it'll update. And as you can see, the account was successfully created, and that step 1 was grayed out, and a little check mark appears right there. Occasionally, you'll have some users say, having some issues on the checkout page. Just go ahead and make sure that all the segments are completed and everything is checked out. The reason we have created it so that you can actually create an account directly on the checkout page is we want 100% of all orders that go through this page to assign to a specific salon or spa and enable that user to be saved to that salon or spa as well. So as you can see, when we completed step 1, that actually doubled as the account creation step. So that user, which would be testpleasework@hotmail.com in this fake example, will now be saved to the Sharpcuts page, and they will always access that page when logging in on the master Coastal Beauty website. Pretty simple, right? As for the rest of the information about the client, the more information you fill out, for example, if we add a shipping address or if we add a billing address, it'll start updating that client's information so we can get a better idea of who that client is. But at the end of the day, only an email is actually required in order to create an account. And as you can see in the top right hand of this page, it says, "Hi, testpleasework@hotmail.com. It knows I'm now registered. It knows I'm now saved to this account as well. As for the rest of the checkout page, just some important information to note. It's always on the consumer to ensure that their shipping address is correct, and hopefully their billing address matches with that as well. As for shipping, we're going to go over shipping a little bit more detail in a second, but we do use Canada Post. As soon as the shipping address is popped into here, it'll give you an estimate for your shipping. We use a flat rate shipping fee of $7.95, so it's always going to say $7.95, unless, of course, you're over our threshold for free shipping, which we're going to go over in the next clip. As for payment options, we take credit card. We have Visa, MasterCard, and American Express as options. Down here in your actual shopping cart, this is where you can go ahead and either delete items, update products as well. So let's go ahead and change this up to a quantity of 3 and update the cart. What you're going to see is it's going to go ahead and update that. The price is now changed. You can see that over here in the subtotal and the total as well. We also run some various promotions such as a free gift with purchase. That is generally at a threshold of $100. Again, we're going to go into that in a bit more detail. But as you can see, this product was automatically entered into the cart as well. One other important thing to note on this page is these 2 fields right here. One listed as beauty professional and one listed as special offer code. Essentially, for us to track who's actually registering new users onto their Coastal Beauty site, and say for example at Stu's salon, I had a staff of 3 people. I would want to know is Mini-Me 1 pushing this successfully? Is Mini-Me 2 not pushing this? Who do I want to give credit to, etc. So that is where the beauty professional really comes into play. If I were to add in the Mini-Me example right here, add that in. When this order goes through, what's going to happen is it'll actually tell you that Mini-Me was the beauty professional on this order. And as for special offer code, this is very important. We run a ton of promotions. We always want to offer the best deal possible to your end consumer. And we do this generally through the special offer codes or promo codes like many other sites. So always ensure that your client is entering their promo code and then most importantly clicking add. Again, we will go over promotions a little more detail in a second, but the first time offer we do have is the first 25 promotion, which is $25 off your first order of $50 or more. So we're going to go ahead and add that. As you can see, I type in first 25, I click add, the page is going to reload, except now you're going to see there's $25 less on the price. As for shipping and tax, again, that'll rely on your shipping address. So once that information is inputted, everything will update. If everything is grayed out with the check marks, then you'll know that this order is going to be able to be successfully completed. Thank you so much for watching part 2 of our Coastal Beauty Welcome Series. I hope you feel a lot more comfortable with how your clients can gain access to your personal branded storefront, how they're able to create an account, and how our checkout page operates. Stay tuned for part 3, which will be issued via email in the upcoming days. Part 3 is going to be going over how our promotional structure works and is packed with valuable information. As always, if you would like to take your learning into your own hands, please feel free to check out our YouTube channel below, where we have all 5 parts of our video posted so that you can get as much learning in as possible on your own time.